If you've ever encountered a cockroach, you know how frustrating and exhausting it is to get rid of it. Seemingly indestructible, cockroaches are one of the most dreaded pests in the world. Once they claim your home as theirs, it's an uphill battle to tackle them. But what makes them so challenging and so hard to kill? Let's find out in our Wildpedia. If you take a closer look at some of the darkest places in your house, you might stumble on one of these guys.
Oh my gosh!
Cockroaches, or roaches for short, have been pests for about 300 million years and are known to be one of nature's most resilient survivors. Most people think of cockroaches as household pests, but there are actually about 4,500 different species of roaches in the world, and less than 1% of them are the freaky ones you find in your house that scatter when you turn on the light. This type of cockroach is known as the American cockroach. Depending on the species, many roaches are about the size of a thumbnail, but some are larger. Cockroaches are generalized insects with a few special adaptations, and may be among the most primitive living neopteran insects. They have relatively small heads and broad, flat bodies, and most species are reddish-brown to dark brown. They have large compound eyes, 2 ocelli, and long, flexible antennae. The mouth parts are on the underside of the head and include generalized chewing mandibles, salivary glands, and various touch and taste receptors. Most species of roaches have wings, but are not capable of sustained or powered flight. They actually use them to glide for short distances, which still scares the heck out of me, I must admit. Cockroaches are abundant throughout the world and live in a wide range of environments, meaning they are everywhere you can possibly think of. And as I mentioned earlier, they have been around for millions of years, meaning that these guys are a highly successful group of animals. But why, exactly, have cockroaches been able to stick around for so long? Well, they kinda won the genetic lottery. Cockroaches are known to have large genomes, aka complete sets of genetic material that are actually larger than the vast majority of studied insects. As far as we know, only the locust has more genomes. Roaches have approximately 20,000 genes, which is almost as many as humans have. So what does this mean exactly? Well, when an insect has that many genes, odds are good that some of those genes will give it some advantages. First off, a cockroach has 150 olfactory receptors, which allow it to smell and find the crumbs of your late-night potato chips. It also has over 500 gustatory receptors for taste, meaning they will eat just about everything. And I mean everything. Cheese, sweets, hair, flakes of dried skin, other cockroaches, and even human toenails. That's quite the menu. I mean, who would ever want to eat toenails? That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of.
Ew!
And for all that it can eat, it can also go up to 2 months without eating anything. Man, that is crazy. I can't even last 3 hours without food.
Oops.
Now, if you live with cockroaches in your house, which you almost definitely do, you may feel the need to use insecticide to poison them. However, this approach will not work because roaches have genes coded for detoxification enzymes that can help them withstand toxic chemicals. This means that not only will your pesticides not kill the cockroaches, but also that the cockroaches will survive, keep breeding, and pass on their insecticide-resistant genes to their offspring, creating new roaches that are immune to these chemicals. Scientists also attribute roaches' survivability to the simple design of their bodies. Their cell cycles are slower than a human's, making them less sensitive to radiation, meaning they could possibly survive a nuclear bomb. This kind of explains why they are so hard to get rid of.
Hello?
You might have heard the myth that a cockroach can live without its head. Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's not a myth. This is actually true. Even though a roach can't regenerate a new head once it's lost its head, it can survive for quite some time without one. This is because cockroaches have an open circulatory system with way less pressure than the one we have. So, when it gets decapitated, a roach's neck seals off by clotting so it won't bleed out. Roaches can also grow back some of their other body parts too. At this point, you might think that there is nothing you can do to deal with these filthy creatures. Maybe we should derive some sort of companionship out of this situation. Instead of fighting the next roach you see by spraying poison on it, you should give it a name and buy it a collar and at least take it out on walks. Perhaps you could take advantage of your interesting new pet as an icebreaker to help you speak to your crush. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Yeah, before you decide to really adopt a roach as your lifelong friend, you may want to consider that they are not only gross to look at, but they are also bad for your health. As disgusting as it sounds, roaches shed tiny bits of dust from their bodies, and this dust is an allergen that can provoke or worsen symptoms of asthma. These guys can also carry pathogens like Salmonella and E. coli, which can cause contamination and serious health problems to humans. So, if cockroaches are nearly indestructible, then how do you get rid of them if you have them? Needless to say, your best means of cockroach control is prevention and sanitation. Always keep your home clean and sanitary, especially cockroach-prone areas like your kitchen and bathrooms. Removal of food and water sources is another way to prevent infestations. To further combat against having roaches in your home, you should also make sure to take out the trash every day, and don't leave anything out that may tempt them to stick around. Because no one on this earth ever wants to have a roach crawling on their face, snacking on the leftover candy bar that they ate before dozing off at night. Cockroaches are literally more powerful than any Marvel superheroes that I can think of. Nature granted a really big privilege to these creatures, don't you think? If you like this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything from Wildpedia.